Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to the channel. As you guys see by the title, we're going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings cap space situation. And I have three veterans on the Minnesota Vikings that I believe should really consider taking a pay cut, or maybe the Vikings should consider cutting them going into this next season. Thank you guys so much for the support on the channel. Leave your reactions down below in the comments, because these are pretty big names in the Vikings organization that really should take a pay cut. Let me know what you guys think down below. I think the Vikings, listen, in the NFL, cap space is everything. Money is everything. You got to find an extra million there, an extra million there, and you got to figure it out. So Vikings, cap space, hell, I got three veterans who need to take a pay cut right now. All right, starting off with the number one guy I think really needs to take a pay cut, and it's not even his fault why he signed this contract, but it's Harrison Smith. He signed the 4-year, $64 million extension last year, thanks to our old GM, Rick Spielman, and he is set to make a lot of effing money. So we're going to break this down year by year. In 2022, this next year, he has a $14.7 million cap hit. Same thing in 2023, $14.7 million. But then in 2024, it goes down to $14.5. And then in 2025, Harrison Smith on the books is set to make $17 million. This is a tough video because Harrison Smith, again, he's one of the guys that made me fall in love with the Vikings. He's one of the guys where I grew up watching him. I grew up watching Harrison Smith in his rookie year come in and make big-time plays, and I've watched his career ever since. He's been really the one guy, when I really started getting into football, he's been with the Vikings the whole time. He's been an honor to watch. However, he's making a lot of money. And Harrison Smith, listen, the safety position in the NFL, I say it's probably about 7th to 8th most important. So I just don't think in today's NFL, and especially with the quarterback you have taken up so much money, it's just not financially smart to have a safety making damn near $15 million every year on your book. And I'm not even considering the fact that he's 33 years old. Harrison Smith in 2025, I think he could be 36 or 37, making $17 million. Now, Harrison Smith, I know technology and all this new health, athletes are playing longer, athletes are more healthy. So maybe Father Time. I haven't seen Father Time hit Harrison Smith on the shoulder once. So I'm holding out. But Harrison Smith, if he could just get that number down to about $10 million a year, $11 million a year, he could really help his football team's chance of winning a Super Bowl. And I think that's really the last thing he wants, is to win a Super Bowl in Minnesota. Now here's the second player. You guys know I like to bash on his contract a lot, and mainly just running backs in general, but it's Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook this next year is set to make $8.3 million. Totally fine. And then 2023 he's set to make 10. 2024 he's set to make 12. And 2025 he's set to make 13. Could you imagine what Dalvin Cook's going to look like in 2024 and in the 2025 season? I don't know why they extended him for this long. I really don't. I don't know why they decided to give a running back who has had injury history, and just knowing the history of running backs in the NFL, it just really mind boggles me why Rick Spielman would make this extension. And honestly, when I was looking into this video, I always had this notion that Rick Spielman was a very good GM. Like, he really made yes, everybody makes mistakes, but I always felt like he was in the upper echelons of GM in the NFL. And as we're going over these contracts, I mean, he paid a safety who's getting up there in age, almost $16 million a year, and he's paying a running back who has been riddled with injury and hasn't played a full season his entire career. He extended him for the next 4 seasons at around $12 million a year. So just contracts like that just don't make sense. But my case to Dalvin Cook on taking a pay cut, I think he has a very good chance of being cut. And I think he thinks very analytically, where he's thinking if he thinks the production of Madison and Kene Wong will be relatively the same as the production of Dalvin Cook being the workhorse, and he could do that for $8 million less, he is doing it. I think Dalvin Cook's he will be the most slept-on cut candidate that there is. I think he really has a chance, just knowing how Kwesi operates and how the Vikings, what direction they're going in. And Dalvin Cook's a great locker room guy. He's a great dude. He's everything you ask for in a running back. It's just you can't pay running backs nowadays. You look at the last 20 Super Bowl winners, all their main running backs are making around like $2-3 million. It's just the way the NFL is. It's the going rate of running backs. The only running back I would pay right now is Derrick Henry, because he's rarely hurt and he's he's King Henry. But even like Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, all these guys, I'm not saying Dalvin Cook, Kamara, and Christian McCaffrey, I wouldn't pay either of them. I wouldn't pay any of them. That's just kind of how my brain has been kind of wired to think about running backs in the NFL. All right, and the last guy is Michael Pierce. He's another guy that could be a cut candidate. He had an okay year this past year. He definitely was coming off an injury, so we got to consider that. Michael Pierce, he's set to make $8 million this next year, $9 million the year after. And for an interior defensive lineman who doesn't really get the best production out of him, I think we need to be not self-aware. I just think we need to reflect on our own guys. Is he worth it at that $9 million mark? I don't. I think he needs to be a guy who gets down to $5, who gets down to $4 million. We could sign him for maybe 2 years, $15 million, where you could give him a $3 million extension, and then you got to break up the $12 million over the next 2 years, however you want to do it. But Michael Pierce, he's not as important as Harrison Smith and Dalvin Cook taking pay cuts, but he's definitely up there. I think you should really consider it just because, listen, all these guys, and especially on defense, are kind of getting up there in age. And if you're going to need to win a Super Bowl, there's going to have to be sacrifices. It's not easy to win a Super Bowl. We all know that. It's not easy to win a single game in the NFL. You need every advantage you can get. So I think these three guys, if they would consider taking a pay cut, the Vikings would be so much better. You could maybe go get a corner. You could go maybe get another D lineman. You could go get another offensive lineman. Possibilities are endless. Let me know what you guys think down below about Michael Pierce, Dalvin Cook, and Harrison Smith potentially taking pay cuts this next season. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes.